When I worked at Bolton's, we ended up doing it. It was more like a winter or summer or spring when you made orders come, and after that you were struggling sort of style. We were doing stuff for Canada, we were doing stuff for Australia, we were doing stuff for China, like long haul conveyors sort of style. Right. And then it just suddenly finished sort of style. We lost a bit of money on one job, and that was the stuffing, like knocking the stuffing out of us.
Like Hewwood's closed, didn't it?
When the pits closed, that's when Bolton's got the hammer, wasn't it? All the pit
so when was that then? So it was early 80s then?
It was 95 when Bolton's closed.
95?
95, yeah, my mother died. That's how I specifically know it. But when the strike was on, and before the strike, I started Bolton's maybe about 1966, and the strike, what do you think, the strike was 80 odd? 1984, yeah. And you were doing well then, you see. Mm-hmm. But once it started to fade off long before that, and then all of a sudden got ourselves pulled round, and that's what happened.
So Bolton's really were tied in with the closure of all the pits nationally, weren't they?
Well, it was, because they lost a lot of trade when the small pits closed. A lot of work went down the tubes, not needed anymore.
Yeah.
And yet, there was 4 major industries, if you think about it, wasn't it? There was the company, there was the pits, there was Everready, and of course then you had the government places like at Durham. What they call it, one across Newcastle way, the pensions and all that. Longbent, all those ones, And once what went first was the pits declined, they went away, and the company closed, and Everready closed. And then of course all the other ones on the fringe of that, which were reliant on them, they started to disappear as well. And then what happened then is we then brought in factory work, small wages, but it was work. And there was a big void in this area through the 90s, through the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, and it's only now it's starting to build up, but there's still a big void.
A lot of people tell you like that there, especially when the big one opened up here. What the hell do they call that one? That was probably the last one built by the company up here.
The steel plant.
The steel plant, aye. Well, if you didn't get a mouthful of red dust coming down this bank here from the nightclub on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday night where you weren't living. You weren't living. You used to come down with a white shirt, and by the time you got home it was pink. It was that bad, man. The filters or something had knocked.
Yes.
But it'd been knocked for a year, didn't it? Something like that.
We all laughed, we used to always say that it won't do you any harm. This dust doesn't do any harm, right? But we've still got the legacy now, haven't we? We've got the cancers, we've got all sorts. And it's only this generation that's dying out now.
You had one of the highest rates of throat cancer, didn't you?
Yeah.
The whole place was pink, man. The roofs were pink.
Yeah. We see people put the washing
dark pink.
Then no time at all, it was red.
About that. It was heartbreaking for some women,
Yeah.
Especially down here when it's round about this.
Sure.